Alright, Shalom. First off, give all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, and the women and children who follow. So, I got a lesson today I wanted to go over, which is America being the Roman Empire. Of course, in the scriptures, America is known as Babylon. It's known as Sodom. It's known as Egypt. It's also known as Rome. It's the new Rome incarnated, and it's a lot of comparisons that I just wanted to go over. Just to show that we are living in the new Rome. So this is Revelations chapter 13. I'm gonna start at verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed." Now that beast whose deadly wound was healed was the old Roman Empire. So this is us being here in the new Rome, the new Roman Empire. And like I said, you got so many different comparisons to prove that we in the new Rome. Everything is just the way it is back then. We all the proper terms that we use are in Rome, like the genus species names, the doctor terms, the femur, the different body parts. All that proves that we're in Rome. And we read the scripture, that even proves that we're in Rome. Because it says he had two horns like a lamb. That's speaking of the two houses, the Senate. So that's the Republicans and the Democrats. Or back then, you had what was called the plebeians and the patricians. And just like now, you had one that was so-called for the rich, one so-called for the poor. Which the Republicans and the plebeians are the so-called lower class. Those are the ones who blue collar doing most of the work. And then you had it's like it. The Republicans and the plebeians are the rich ones. The rich ones, the 1%, the higher ups. Those are the ones that are the so-called ruling class who are really making everything. But you still had the Democrats and the patricians. Those are the lower class blue collar workers. Another comparison is the architecture and the way that they made the buildings. Back in ancient Rome, all the buildings had those big, thick pillars. And you'll see the same thing here today in America when you look at the White House, when you look at state buildings, capitol buildings. They got the same structure. Big buildings with the triangle up top or the dome and the big, thick pillars. Now, also in America, they like to distract you. They give you football, basketball, soccer, concerts, anything that they can do to distract you. And that's the same thing they did in the ancient world. They would put on different shows. They have different wild animals and bring them all in, or sea battles and flood the Coliseum. So they did all that as a distraction. When the money wasn't coming in, or when they had to devalue the currency, or something was going wrong, that's what they did. They had different ways and keeping your mind busy while they were working behind the table behind closed doors. And that's what's going on here in America. They'll make a big event, a false flag attack, and then slide Obamacare under your nose, or they'll have a Super Bowl, and while you watching a Super Bowl, then bam, they hit you with the NDAA Act, which, you know what I'm saying, nobody knows nothing about, but it's taking away all your liberties. So that's what they do here. You know, they slick, they underhanded, and they stuff that they did back in the days. They were slick, they're underhanded. But it's those same spirits coming back in their lot. So what more could you expect, really? You also had the military. The military back then was spread thin. You know, the Roman land was so vast. You know, it covered a good part of Europe, parts of Asia, and North Africa. So, I mean, if you have a force that had to cover all that land, that's a difficult task for anybody to want to cover all of that, you know. So, I mean, when you go into the scriptures, Revelations 17, and it says 17 and 10, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet to come. That's talking about, you know, the Greece, Germania Major, Germania Minor, the Gauls, Hispaniola, uh, England. The one yet to come, you know, it's talking about America. So, and that's not even including places like Syria, uh, all of North Africa. So it was hard to guard all those lands, and that's how it is today with America, because America has a base in every country. They set up in everybody's country, and it's hard to strike a mighty blow when you spread that thin. It's like comparing a boxer. It's like if you Deontay Wilder, you know what I'm saying, you got all your troops in one place, you know what I'm saying, you can bam, you know, hit a good right hand and boom, it'll knock that person out. But say you like a Amir Khan and you just throwing little jabs and little pot shots to score points. That's what America is. America is you know, those little pot shots. Now they got a lot of so-called military might, but not to the point that it's going to be to their detriment, should I say. Another good comparison is the way that the highways is set up, the different roads. Those ancient roads, which they were built way better than these current roads that we got today, but it was vast. Like I said, you can see um, all the different roads that were set up in North Africa, all the way through Asia, through Europe and Great Britain. So I mean, and then you look at the way the highway is set up today, it's the same concept. Like I said, back then they made shit to last, so the roads were actually a hell of a lot better. But it's all the same thing, man. That's the deadly wound being healed and this place coming back in the same lot as Rome. The money devaluing. You had the money being devalued in Rome. You had the uh, forgive me, I can't remember what the name of the currency is right now. I'll put it in post production. Um, I believe it's I put it in post production. But you had it being devalued, and that's the same thing going on with the dollar today. It's getting devalued. It's getting lower and lower and lower and lower to the point that, you know, it's going to collapse. And once that dollar fails, this place is done. This place is going up in flames, man. This place is going down. All hell's gonna break loose. The shit hits the fan is what they call it. And when the shit hits the fan, that's when, you know what I'm saying, that green light's gonna come in. It's gonna be time to get down. But one main comparison with Rome and America is the eagle. America's national bird is the eagle. America um That's the symbol of America, is the eagle, which was also a symbol of Rome. So I'm going to read this, which is Obadiah verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou hast set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Because America is high-minded, is proud. The eagle soars higher than any other bird, so they exalt themselves as an eagle. But they're going down. Just like the old Rome, who exalted itself as an eagle, went down, America's going down. And you best believe it. When it says they put their nest among the stars, they went out of space, they had their little space programs and whatnot. But man, this place is going down. You know, it has nothing but death and destruction coming to it. With that being said, I'm going to say call law, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, and the women and children who follow. Shalom.